Attention!
Welcome to the Film Mages Podcast, where the popcorn is our ammunition, the couch is our foxhole, and the cinema is a place of worship.
Now let me see your war face. Ah!
Yeah.
There we go.
Is that better?
Hey.
That's
Okay.
perfect.
Great.
Hello,
great.
everyone. Welcome to the Film Majors. I'm Zack.
I'm Alexis.
I'm Mick.
Great.
And I'd like to open us up right away by
I'm
correcting myself.
I'm already open, Zach. I'm always open.
Great. Well,
Open for business, that man is. He's
open
basically
for
a
Zachary
7-Eleven.
Harris. Come this time. I already did. This Sunday, Zachary Harris.
What's happening?
I don't.
I need to know what's going on.
Mother. Fucker. Well, what's going on is I need to. Yeah, you're fucking pleased.
I thought about it too on my way over here. I was like, I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna do
I'm
it.
gonna
And I
wreck
thought
them.
you were about to do it, so then I was like, oh, I'm gonna go for it, guys.
No. I cited the writer Willow McClay in our last episode on We're All Going to the World's Fair, which more of you need to listen to, and more importantly, more of you need to go see or watch on HBO Max, because it's a good fucking movie. But I referred to Willow McClay by they, them pronouns. Her pronouns are she, her. So sorry, Ms. McClay. Your writing was wonderful, and I'll probably pop a link to it on our social media. So I'm really 2 for 2 on back-to-back episodes of taking fat L's and starting the episode by acknowledging that.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. I have no idea what I'm doing right now because I had like a double shot of espresso before I came here. I think I'm a little jittery.
You're a little zooted?
I think I'm zooted.
She's a little zooted.
Yeah, no, I got like the blonde espresso, so the blonde is like extra caffeine.
Oh boy.
Oh, God. This episode's brought to you by Starbucks, proudly sponsored. Right?
Crush the
Are we
union.
sponsored by them?
Yeah. We'd like to say that we are anti-union and we want to destroy the workers of Starbucks. You don't deserve a living wage and we hate you.
Hashtag sarcasm.
That's not true.
No. We should be tied to that as a statement.
Great. I don't love that.
Well, that's when Alexis leaves. And I sit here quietly and uncomfortably.
So, anybody see any films lately?
Nope. Trying to avoid. I'm really trying to quit.
That's just absolutely not true.
I'm kind of over the whole film thing. New year, new me.
That's going to be a huge problem for us.
I'm just into books,
Oh my god.
but with pictures.
Oh, well, okay.
Picture books.
As long as we keep it
I like
super
those.
visual.
I do too. Gee, thank you, Alexis. Coffee table books. We don't talk about them enough.
As long as we keep this
Can have the
podcast
consistent-
really reliant on a visual medium, I'm happy.
Well, coffee table books have pictures.
Yeah, I love that.
There we go.
That is a visual medium.
It's
It
a
really
visual
is.
medium.
Exactly.
Just like a podcast.
Yep. So,
I think we're all caffeinated right now.
I'm drinking caffeine currently.
Wow! All right, guys. Sorry, Jerry Bruckheimer just came in here real quick.
Oh man.
You're telling me the movie's gonna be called Days of Thunder? Fuck yes!
There's like 3 movies that I've been meaning to see for the whole week, but I was actually kind of a little sick for a few days.
Oh no.
Like,
God.
Tiny Alexis.
Tiny Alexis is back.
oh dude, yeah, no, it was actually really bad because like for 2 days I basically stay at home if I'm like up on my hill. And so I stayed in bed for
Like
like
a princess
12
in a
hours.
castle.
No, I really
No,
was.
it's like a troll in a hole. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Well, I was being generous.
It
I'm
really
sorry.
do look like that though, because like I've become like a nocturnal animal. Like I've been going to bed with
Like-
the sun. Like
Yeah.
when the sun rises, I fall asleep and I keep like all my windows
This past
drawn.
week, I worked on a Super Bowl commercial, and I saw the sunrise, and I get to work. I'm tired. I get a text from Alexis or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, I got a text
I
from
know.
Alexis at 4 a.m.
I
with
was
double
like,
disc.
are you pulling an all-nighter? And you're like, yeah. I just
Okay, so
taken a
here's-
video of the sunset, and I just crawled back into my troll.
sunrise, yeah.
Or sunrise. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's where the segue comes in. I got a text from Alexis at 4 in the morning saying, hey, when do you want to go see Skinamarink?
Yeah.
And I was literally, it was the morning after I woke up. The previous night I had already gone to see it.
Yeah.
And I look at it and I'm like,
That's because
why
for the
was
past
she
week,
awake at
for
4?
the past week, I've been trying to see Skinamarink, but I haven't made it out of my house
Tragic.
It
Tragic.
really is. Like, it's like I wake up by like 3 to 5, like 4 p.m., you know, and that's when the sun is starting to set again, you know, and then it's like I'm really not awake until like 6 p.m.
Yeah. You're sort of a creature of the night.
She's a creature of the night. Wow.
What beautiful music she makes.
Yeah, I've been trying to see Skinamarink for a minute now. I think I'm actually going to see it tonight.
Can we just talk about it?
Yeah, Mick and I both saw
We
it.
watched
I know.
it.
I'm jealous.
Oh, man.
Deeply unsettling.
It's genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, no,
it really is.
I follow this guy, Caleb Finn, on TikTok, and he doesn't really ever do like movie reviews or anything. He's like a video game guy, and him and his wife do like these adorable, cute little fucking videos. But he like had a short list for horror movies, and he said that movie was genuinely the most terrifying movie he'd seen all year.
It's very frightening.
It is very slow, and I'm not going to spoil anything by saying that nothing happens.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
No.
Nothing happens at all.
I don't know that that's entirely true.
You could argue
nothing is shown.
No, nothing is shown.
But
maybe
I
some
would say
things
that
are
a lot
suggested.
happens.
No,
I
disagree.
I really think there is a story.
Alexis, you'll find out when you watch it tonight. But I don't think anything happens. But it's incredible. When I was watching the movie, I legit had my fingers clenched into a fist, and my fingers were digging into my palms, and I was pressing against the chair of the seat I was in, because it was honestly terrifying.
Yeah.
This was the first time in a long time I've been in a theater where people actually screamed.
Yep.
Screamed.
Oh, I was so scared, guys.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
I was actually like, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, should I go see this movie? Like, I live alone, and like...
Oh.
I mean, okay. I literally don't sleep in the dark at all. Like, I always have I have these string lights that are always on the lowest setting because I do not sleep in the dark.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm kind of genuinely terrified, because after I saw Hereditary, I slept with the light on for like half a week.
This is the first horror movie in a probably since World's Fair, that really truly unsettled me. And I will say that the ending of World's Fair I find to be the most upsetting part of that movie. Generally, I'm like somewhat uncomfortable throughout that film. Skinamarink, I was frightened beginning to end.
Yeah, I think that as far as experimental horror goes, I think Skinamarink does it better than We're All Going to the World's Fair.
I would say that World's Fair is more of a traditional narrative, but less of a horror movie.
Huh.
Well, you know what? Well, I think we should discuss it again after Alexis has seen it.
Let's table it for now.
One more thing I will say is I haven't felt actual paranoia walking back to my car after a movie, because I saw it at the Late Show.
Oh, no.
I felt paranoid, and here's the thing. Okay, this is a weird experience I had. So I'm wearing my yellow, Billy raincoat kind of thing that I have. As I'm leaving, because it's raining, I'm getting onto the escalator, and I'm going down, and there's a Universal employee who's polishing the floors, and he's also wearing a yellow coat. And as I'm coming down the escalator, I hear this whoa, 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 whoa sound behind me. I'm like, what is that sound? And I look back up, and the guy who's in the same coat as I am is just like staring at me as I'm coming down the escalator and making this like weird face. I'm like, what is happening right now? I almost cried. I'm like, that movie was so terrifying, and then why am I having this experience? Like, I had this weird thought where I'm like, is that me from the future? Like, is that me 50 years from now working at Universal, and I just saw my past self, but I am my past self? Anyways.
I'm terrified.
I hope you would like it.
This is not good for me. I have a very active imagination. I slept with my mom until I was like 10 years old because I was like really afraid of the dark. I'm really glad I'm wearing this giant cardigan because I feel like I'm going to need like a comfort blanket.
Are you going to see it right after you record here?
Yeah, because there's like a 7 and a 10 at Universal.
Okay, go to the 10. Go to the 10.
Go to the 10? Oh, but then I have to stay out of my house until 10.
They don't have to.
You can't crawl back to your hole.
That's true. Once you go home,
watch
you're home.
some Succession for a bit.
There you go. Do that.
Yeah, no. So Skinamarink, I'm trying to see that. I've been trying to see Saint Omer and Corsage.
Me too. I'm seeing those later this week, I think.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Okay, so something else going on.
What's your dad's email?
Yeah, I was about to address the
Finally.
2 emails that we've received from my parents. Where did my dad's go? Clarification regarding It's a Wonderful Life. Oh, there's like so many emails from my dad, man.
Oh no.
Okay, so on January 2nd, my dad responded to me saying that I would have lost my fingers working at the plywood plant with, if I had stayed in Eugene, I would still have all my fingers. I am loved at the plywood plant, and I would be running the cut-up department and filming their late-stage capitalism corporate marketing movies.
Okay.
Nice.
So that's just, that's something
that's a nice side note.
Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, he wanted to commend us for picking red wine over white wine.
Oh, absolutely.
We're with you there, Mr. Harris.
Yeah, we're a red wine pod.
Yeah.
Love the tannin.
An invite to Alexis to come to Eugene with me to pick up the VCR. We can immerse ourselves in the cable TV experience that is not dead yet. Let's see. Okay, for 3 people who clearly love movie making and the movie business and all that entails, to not put The Way of Water in any of your top 10 is very hard to understand. It is what movie making is all about.
No, it's not.
Way of Water joins a list of very few sequels as being better than the original. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
The other.
I might give him that, actually.
Yeah.
I think it is better than the original.
Oh yeah, and then more complaints about how the donkey dies in Banshees of Inisherin.
Classic.
And he ends with he's trying to go see Babylon. Okay, cool.
See it, Mr. Harris. It's a good time.
Yeah, that the music is so good.
I still need to check it out.
I have Coke.
Stop.
I have the song Coke Room literally.
Coke Room is a great song.
On repeat.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
I listen to it on repeat while I'm writing now.
Yeah, Justin Hurwitz, I know you're listening. Congratulations for winning your Golden Globe. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we love you, man.
We were all rooting for you.
Yeah, sure.
See you at the Oscars.
Should have been Michael Abels. Fucking go. Let's go, boy. Let's see.
Yeah, his one song was fine.
His many songs are fantastic.
Who's that?
Nope. Love the score for that movie. Anyways, from my mother, she would like to.
My mother?
Hey! She would like to note that we've extensively discussed buddy movies, and we've overlooked one of the best buddy films of all time,
which is
Thelma and Louise.
Yes!
Which I've never seen and would really like to.
Your mom brought that up, and you've never seen it?
I've never seen it either.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess that makes sense because you're like dudes, and it's like 2 women.
I mean, to be fair, but I do love Susan Sarandon, and I love Gina Davis. So
it's a big over. Also, isn't that a Ridley Scott film?
I don't know.
Tony Scott, I think.
Is it Tony
or Ridley?
It's like, isn't that like Brad Pitt's fucking first
time
his breakout?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would love to watch that and maybe cover that at some point.
It's really good.
And then my mom talking about how much she liked The Fabelmans and that she agrees with me about Elvis. However, she saw Moulin Rouge, and it's one of her favorite movies of all time.
Yes, Queen. Slay.
Right up there with Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Okay,
nice.
Cool.
Good choices.
And finally, she agrees with Alexis on Everything Everywhere All at Once being a great movie.
I really, after the Golden Globes, it's at the top of my list of movies to rewatch. Because I've only seen it once.
I've rewatched it too. I've only seen it once, but yeah, I've been following kind of like what's going on on TikTok with the whole, because Stephanie Sue hasn't been up for any like Best Supporting Actress in like any of the categories really yet. And I think the campaign's finally kind of getting behind her to kind of push her up for that. Because Jamie Lee Curtis has been up for like Best Supporting Actress for hers, and it's like, no. Stephanie Sue is like the backbone of that movie. Like, obviously it's Michelle Yeoh and Ke Kwan, but like Stephanie Sue, she makes that movie work, Yeah. So I was like, it doesn't make sense why she hadn't been being pushed and campaigned for like this whole time. So, like I think I told you guys I watched her like audition tape for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and she'd already kind of like been in that character by the time she like auditioned. And
Yes.
like, you know, I don't know. She's just fucking fantastic. I'm really excited.
I still need you to send me that. I want to see that.
I keep forgetting. You gotta like write it down because the ADHD shit is just so bad.
Another thing going on.
Okay.
I caught one of the 2022 films that I missed.
Okay.
Which was After Yang, which is the
Oh, yeah.
other Colin Farrell movie.
How was that?
It was
Jinx.
delightful.
Okay.
It was delightful. It's an exploration of how you deal with loss through the eyes of a family whose robot has malfunctioned. It's a super interesting premise because the robot Yang, Colin Farrell and Jodie Turner-Smith, I believe, are the two leads.
Yeah.
They have bought this robot that looks like a teenage Chinese boy as a tool to help their adopted Chinese daughter feel like she's connected with her Chinese heritage. It's a super interesting movie. I love a low budget sci-fi movie because we don't get them very much, and I think that it's a really fun genre. The other one that kind of comes to mind is Moon, starring Sam Rockwell. This is probably lower budget than that, but yeah, really enjoyed it, and Colin Farrell had a fucking banner year. Like 3 banger performances, 3 movies where he's arguably the best part of every single one of them.
Yeah.
Which I find wildly impressive. Yeah, so After Yang, highly recommend it. I think you can find it on Prime, and yeah, check it out. Give it a watch.
Great.
I'd like to. That sounds great.
Yeah. I've actually been re-exploring some older movies in the last week.
Fuck yeah.
Well, to start off with, obviously I wasn't feeling so great this last week, but I did, and this actually might be part of the reason why I ended up getting a little sick, but my friend was feeling pretty bummy, so I left my house at like 7:30 at night and picked them up, and we went to Santa Monica.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we went to Santa Monica and we swung on the swings at the beach, and then just kind of like, I took like a towel and we just kind of sat and fucking watched the waves for a bit. And
nice.
did you know at Santa Monica, like on the pier, the little Ferris wheel that they have, it has like lights on it.
I did know that.
All throughout the night.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, if you get a little baked. it's pretty lit.
Look at that freaking
Literally.
wheel.
I was
turn,
like
bro.
on the swings just swinging, and I was like, damn, that light show is pretty cool.
Love it. But what older films have you been
Yeah,
revisiting?
what was the segue?
So, I love that completely unrelated story, but
Well, the segue was just that, like, I think, like, starting with that night, it kind of made me feel, like, more recentered, I think, than I have felt in a while, and I started writing again.
Oh, nice.
And
Good for you.
I rewatched Some Kind of Wonderful, which is, like, a movie from the 80s. It's just, like, I wouldn't even say it's, like, necessarily, like, a rom-com. It's, like, I wouldn't even say it's, like, a lesser-known, like, 80s rom-com, but, like, it's not one of the John Hughes movies, so,
Right.
you know, it's not, like, immediately one that people think of. But, yeah, I started writing a story kind of built off of like a light premise of that. But then I also rewatched Midnight Cowboy.
I've never seen Midnight
Same.
Cowboy.
I have to watch that still.
Is so good. Oh my god. So it's the same director as Far From the Madding Crowd. So that guy who did, you know, kind of like that trippy art
Gotcha.
kind of stuff. You know, there's
It's not Nicholas Rogue. Nicholas Rogue was the DP on that. who
John
directed.
Schlesinger.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that's
Schlesinger?
Schlesinger. Yeah.
Schlesinger.
Schlesinger.
Schlesinger boy.
John
I'm
Schlesinger.
fucking this up so bad.
John Big Gulp Cup.
Yeah, no. And actually, he came out during.
Oh, really?
While he was doing. Well, after like Midnight Cowboy came out, because like the movie's kind of centered on a man who, you know, it's not really overt, but like I think we can kind of infer that he might be, you know, queer.
Right.
You know. And actually, so it's Dustin Hoffman and Jon Voight. And the editing is so fucking good, and it's kind of, in a way, it's a little bit like a buddy movie in some ways.
It's a kind of buddy.
Yeah, I think I watched this like 6 or 7 years ago, and I don't think that I appreciated it as much as like I appreciate it now after I've like gone to film school and seen like so many of like more of like the classics, you know, and then coming back to this, I was like, wow, okay, yeah, because when this came out in 1969, nobody was really making queer movies that were like mainstream. It is the only movie to ever win Best Picture that was X-rated.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just kind of crazy that they got it funded. I mean, even Dustin Hoffman, I think he even said like in this, like when he read the script, he was like, it doesn't really make sense that these two guys kind of like aren't together. Like they're staying in the same apartment. Why aren't they using the same bed? And John Schlesinger was like, I barely got this funded. There's no way we can do all of that, you know? So it was like he kind of made it as over as he kind of could in 1969. And then I think it was like 1971 or something like that, he even came out with this movie, Sunday Bloody Sunday, with Peter Finch, who won for Best Actor for Network in like the 70s.
Yeah, the first posthumous Oscar win.
Yeah. So really, really good director. The guy that he works with for editing, it's really great. There's a lot of double exposures in Midnight Cowboy that are really interesting and trippy and kind of like reflect how American cinema was kind of like changing from like
old Hollywood to new Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly.
The new wave. What year did that come out?
1969.
Well, that's the thing. The American New Wave firmly won the war in 1970.
Yeah.
So that was when it officially transferred over. That would be a really interesting watch. Because I know the music from John Barry is fantastic.
Oh my God, yeah, no. Because I got that on vinyl a few weeks ago. And I've been listening to it so much. And then I was like, you know what? I'm using the movie as something in part of my story. So I rewatched it because I wanted to know what the character's response would be to watching the movie for the first time. So it was really fun.
Nice.
And then I also rewatched Tick, Tick, Boom, which was the Andrew Garfield movie from 2021. You know, I know it's not really a great movie. I'd say, like, as far as, like, story goes, it's probably, like, I give it a 3, which a 3 is pretty, like, mid for me. Yeah. You know? But I really like Jonathan Larson because I love Rent. I've seen it on Broadway before. It's pretty fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I've never seen Rent.
It's great.
I could not get past the Bohemia number. Yeah. That just annoyed the fucking shit out of me.
Which one is that?
Tick, Tick, Boom.
Well, I know, but the Bohemian number.
It's the one where they're singing about how, like, oh, isn't it cool that we're artists in New York? Well, and I'm like, be an artist in LA, you fuck.
Yeah,
be pretentious about movies.
Sitting down and it's like, the words are very quick. Like, I forget which song it is, but someone sent me a clip of Andrew Garfield performing a song in Tick, Tick, Boom, and I knew immediately I will never watch this movie for the rest of my life.
I tried it twice.
Well, the movie is basically the setup of one of his shows.
Yes.
So he had this like fucking rock musical Superbia that he worked on for 8 years and it never fucking got made, and then he had to like move on with his life. I don't know. I think that the movie, like, despite it not being like a great movie, I think Andrew Garfield's like, I really love Andrew Garfield. I think he's pretty great in the movie for what the movie is. And I really like Jonathan Larson, and I like the whole like, your life's not over when you hit 30, and sometimes your life it does not go the way that you want it to go as an artist, but that doesn't mean that you have to just fucking give up and throw in the towel. Just if you have some good friends, like, you know, everything's okay.
There you go.
Well, I know that a lot of my former theater friends from back home have your back on that, because I have a couple of people who like pushed for me to watch it, and it wasn't for me.
You have to be a musical theater kid, I think, to really appreciate it.
Yeah, Zack liked my fucking review on Letterboxd, but I decided I'm going to watch it every year until I turn 30.
Yeah, no, I was reading that this morning and cracking up.
Which is what, 2 years? So you got to see it 2 more times.
I'm sorry, Mick. Is there a reason why you're younger than me? You don't get to drop my age on the fucking podcast.
By 6 months.
Yeah, okay. That's senior corner on the other side of the table.
Shut the fuck up, Zachary.
I'm just a young, sprightly boy. I'm just a fresh-faced
Yeah.
young boy
I don't know.
trying to make it in this crazy city.
I don't know. I really actually like the movie. I like the music. I love the whole kind of, because Tick Tick Boom is basically his whole kind of like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life, so I'm going to write a whole musical that is about how I fucked up. I don't know, kind of, and like lost my girlfriend. Found out my friend is HIV positive, and
Jesus.
now I have to move on with my life, I guess.
Heavy.
So.
Well,
I mean,
with
to
that-
be fair, I feel like you haven't seen Rent. Why are you ragging on Jonathan Larson like that?
Because I find the music from Rent really annoying.
Everyone has AIDS. Wait, no, that's the other one. That's from.
That's
from
it's
Team
not
America.
funny,
Team
guys.
America.
It's really not funny.
It's a pretty funny scene.
Team
I'm not gonna
America's
lie.
pretty funny.
I mean, Team America's funny. I mean, Rent isn't
And that's
funny.
what that's from. They're spoofing Rent, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely are. Do we have anything else, or do we want to get out of what's going on?
Let's please get out of what's
we can
going
get out
on.
of what's
All right, we're out of what's going on.
Yay!
And
And
we're
we're
back.
back, folks. How have you been?
Oh, man, I had such a nice rest from what's going on.
I know, that was a good... someone told... Oh, speaking of which, I finally met Zoe, who...
Yes!
When we must wish her congratulations because
Yes,
she
we-
got engaged.
Yes, our
Congrats,
Zoe
Zoe.
Hughes, who did our podcast
Yeah,
art.
hi, Zoe.
Yeah, recently got engaged, so congratulations, Zoe.
I finally met her. It's so great. But she told me, she's like, yeah, the What's Going On segment is a great pause place where I can step away, do some other stuff, and then come back to it. So I had never heard that input before. So it's interesting to know that, when people finish What's Going On, we actually are back. So hi, folks. It's probably been a few days.
Yeah,
How are you?
Hope you had a nice week.
Do you still have leftovers in your fridge? Throw those out. You're not going to eat them. Come on, get rid of them.
I should isolate that audio so that I can play it in my house.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
You know that funky smell? That's probably that old soup from 2 weeks ago.
You gotta
Probably
top
Alexis
that.
not showering for 2 days.
And the old soup. Old soupy Alexis.
So, old Soupy Alexis,
Old Soupy Alexis.
what's our big topic for today?
Our big topic is ensemble movies. I mean, we can specifically look at 2022, but I'm specifically looking at 2022 because I feel like they've leaned in really fucking hard to ensembles.
Yeah.
Ensemble casts.
Cha, dude.
Chaw, dude.
There's plenty of ensembles, my dude.
So I feel like...
I forgot we were supposed to pick some ensembles, but I can just come up, rattle some off.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
I feel like one that I want to bring up right out the gate is X.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
X
Absolutely.
has a fantastic
Yeah.
ensemble. We talked about
Absolutely.
it in our Best of the Year episode. Go check that out, why don't you?
Yeah.
You have 3 hours to spare.
I think that obviously Mia Goth is great, Brittany Snow, Jenna Ortega, Kid Cudi, Martin Henderson,
Cudi.
Owen Campbell, Stephen Ury. Just a wonderful collection of characters. It's not... I guess it's a decently sized ensemble. There really isn't anyone outside of those characters who's significant, but all of the characters who are shooting the porno movie and the 2 old people whose farm they are shooting it at
Yeah.
are so fully fleshed out and so fun to spend time with. That's one of my favorite ensembles of the year.
Yeah.
And it's, as I mentioned, why I put X higher in my best of the year rankings than I did Pearl. Just because
I'm with you.
There's so many fun characters to spend time with. I mean, you've got a character named Jackson Hole. What more do you need?
You don't
What
need anything more than
more
that. We
do
could
you
finish
need?
the episode right now with that. That would be totally fine.
I like Jackson in the Hole.
Jackson in the hole.
Is that the...
One in the hole, Jackson in the hole.
Yeah, that's the little-known spin-off to Corey in the House, Jackson in the Hole.
Jackson in the hole. Yeah. I think another movie that deserves a shout out for having a fantastic ensemble is Broker, the Korean film that came out so
Oh yeah.
good.
Wait, Broker?
Broker.
The
I hardly
Korean
know
film.
Hey.
Stop.
I still need to see it.
It's so good.
It
so
is really
good.
good, yeah.
Song Kang-so, Gang Dong-won, Bae Doona, Lee Ju-young, Park Ji-young. I mean, it's all of them are just so good.
Park
Everyone-
Ji-young, is that the girl?
I believe so. Let me pull
I
up their
think-
picture again really quickly. No, little boy.
Oh, the little boy.
Yeah. So great. I mean,
He
that's
was
the thing.
so precious. I loved him.
Everyone has a moment to shine in that
Yeah.
film. It's so great. They all play off of each other so well. They seemed like an actual family, which makes parts of the film just so heartwarming and also so heartbreaking. So again, if you have not seen Broker, I know we've talked about it.
Yeah.
If you like a good ensemble picture, watch Broker.
Ooh.
What's up, Zach? You look really excited.
This is a chance for me to bring up a movie that is not, it's in my top 20, it's not in my top 10.
Okay.
The Batman.
Okay.
I think The Batman.
yeah, okay.
I remember from the moment this movie was announced.
Especially Zoe Kravitz.
She's great. I think she's quite good in that movie.
Boom. You know what? I think she should have had a little bit.
I think she dislocated her head with every walk.
She was a little wobbly. I was gonna say it would have been better if she had been a little bit more of the wiggles.
Listen,
You see me wiggling?
she's flouncing around like a kid.
Look out, man! I'm
I
Catwoman.
don't love Catwoman in that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love Zoe Kravitz. I think she's hot as fuck, but I do
Same.
not love Catwoman in that.
I thought that was a good interpretation of that character. I like that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You did?
I did.
You thought that was a good interpretation?
I did.
That was good.
And I enjoyed.
That's great.
I enjoyed
like-
that they incorporated her relationship to Carmine Falcone,
Yeah.
as in the comic book The Long Halloween. And generally, what I wanted to say is when this movie was announced, I was like, Jesus Christ, we're getting another Batman movie this soon. But then I looked at the talent involved, and I was like, holy shit.
It's
Robert
incredible.
Pattinson, Paul Dano, Jeffrey Wright,
John Turturro.
John Turturro's so good in that movie.
He's fantastic.
Peter Sarsgaard, Andy Serkis, and
Sarsgaard.
we can't not do it. And then I think the standout of the film, Mr. Colin Farrell as the Penguin.
Yeah.
Oh, he's fantastic.
What do you show me that for? Come on! No habla español!
You know, I've really enjoyed watching the behind the
Gabagool.
scenes of that, where he first puts on his prosthetic makeup, and you see him become alive, because he was really afraid that all this prosthetic was going to hinder his performance. But then once he actually put it on, he realized that, oh my God, I am legit a different person.
Yeah.
And it completely made it alive for him. And it's so cool to see him go from basically zero to hero. So good.
Yeah. Also, Paul Dano, I love that he's like playing a guy who thinks he's like Heath Ledger's Joker, but it's like who that actual guy is, which is a fucking nerd incel ass bitch.
Yeah.
Really, really good in that movie. Paul Dano also a guy who had a very good 2022 between The Batman
really
and The
did.
Fablemans.
Yeah. I love Paul Dano. I've had a
he's
crush
great.
on him since Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh God, there's such a good movie.
I love that movie so much. I cry like every time he fucking, spoiler alert if you've never seen Little Miss Sunshine.
That's me.
No, shut up.
I've seen like half of it.
What the fuck?
That's on you, buddy.
I was 17 and stoned. Go
God,
for
it's
it.
2007. Shit. Okay. Yeah, no, he realizes that he's fucking colorblind and that he'll never be able to like fly a plane. And it's just like the most heartbreaking thing, because it's like, oh, this idea of where I thought my life maybe would have been going is fucked.
Yeah.
That's what happened to my grandpa.
Really?
He wanted to be a pilot?
My mom's dad wanted to fly planes in World War II, and he had some sight issue and he couldn't.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that's
too
a
bad.
great scene. That's a great scene because Steve Carell's talking to him about how, there's this great writer, almost as good as Shakespeare, and he said something that, when his life was going really well, complete waste of time.
Yeah.
Because he didn't learn anything. It didn't mold him into anything. But when he was down, that was when real change happened and real growth.
Yeah.
Which I think was a great...
Steve Carell is so good in that movie.
He's fantastic,
too.
yeah.
I'll watch it at some point.
You really got it. It's got Alan Arkin.
Alan Arkin's so
Steve
good.
Carell, Paul Dano, and Tony Collette. Like,
Ooh,
it
yeah.
really
And don't
is.
forget-
That is a perfect ensemble right there.
And Greg Kinnear and
Greg Kinnear.
Bryan Cranston.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm sold. I'll check it out soon.
Yeah.
Bodies.
It's a good choice. I forgot about that.
I actually really liked that movie.
I did
know
too.
that you didn't like it as much, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think that there's something about the whole, I don't know, the
Bodies thing.
I hate you. I do not appreciate the energy that you're bringing.
And
You're
I don't dig him,
bringing
and
me
I don't
down.
dig the vibe he brings to a set.
You really bodied my mood.
Body, yada, 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 yada.
Shut the fuck up. Let Alexis talk.
No, I don't know. I fucking love Lee Pace. He's such a big man, and
He is a big man.
He brings us some big daddy energy so simply. And I don't know, Pete Davidson
he's hilarious.
He's a joy for the, first 20 minutes of the movie.
I love the third act reveal of Pete.
Yeah, the third act reveal is so
funny.
good. And then the two girls that were in the main role.
Was one of them from Shiva Baby?
No,
that's Rachel Sennett,
Yeah.
who is... I don't love the ensemble of... I don't love Bodies, period. I think it's fine. But I think Rachel Sennett is a fucking shining
I
star
love
in
that line
movie.
where she's like, "We can't move the body. Have none of you seen SVU?" Love that.
Dude, no, I love the whole thing where it's like, you act like you're like middle class or like lower middle class.
You are upper middle class.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the whole like feuding about money kind of thing. I don't know. It plays well for me, so I really liked it. I thought it was a good ensemble. Babylon, also a really good ensemble this
Great
year.
ensemble indeed. Yeah.
Fuck, what else? Glass Onion.
Glunyan.
Glunyan had a good ensemble.
Glunyan's...
I didn't love it, but
The
ensemble.
it wasn't my
was.
favorite ensemble this year, but it was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I thought
Some
that
good
had a
bits.
solid ensemble. I mean, we've talked about it. Edward Norton, he's good in it. Yeah.
He's a great asshole.
Yeah,
That's for
definitely.
sure. What other ensembles did we have this past year?
I mean, those are really all the ones that I can
Yeah.
truly think about.
Yeah.
That
We didn't
really
have a Fast and
screamed.
Furious release this
I
year,
mean,
so we didn't have the best ensemble of them all.
The new Scream technically is like an ensemble.
Yeah, no, it is.
That
for
ensemble
sure.
was okay.
It was
Yeah,
okay.
it was okay.
It was
I mean, I'm not
acceptable.
saying we need to say the best ensemble.
Let's
I'm
there
just
were
saying there were
ensembles.
ensembles.
every ensemble that was in this year.
My favorite ensemble, we're all going to the World's Fair.
Great.
Ensemble of two. It's a
Great.
good ensemble.
Yeah,
It is.
You know what? Was an not so great ensemble, but it was kind of a fun ensemble, and I know you guys both hate it. Can I segue?
Yeah,
Yes,
let's
please
segue.
do.
Let's get into
Bullet
it.
Train.
Oh,
So we're doing Bullet Train
we're
first?
starting with Bullet Train.
Okay, no,
We're
this is
starting
good.
with Bullet Train.
Let's get the
starting
bad one out first.
with Bullet Train.
Yeah, speaking of ensembles, Bullet Train is
Directed
not
by
one of them.
David Leitch. Felt like God was testing me throughout the entire film.
Here's the thing. I did a double feature. I did Do Revenge, and then I did Bullet Train. And I was like, I may not love Do Revenge, so I'll do Bullet Train second, because it'll be, it could be a palate cleanser.
Bad choice.
Big mistake. It should have been the other way. Bullet Train was somehow, if you like what you like, it's totally fine. It was sleek. It was colorful. There were jokes in it.
Jokes happened.
Jokes happened.
Joke-like things were said.
Humor was attempted, and I was genuinely, I'm amazed that a movie that is an action film about a bunch of assassins on a bullet train is boring.
Snooze fest.
How on earth was this film boring? And I know there are people listening to this right now going, "What the fuck? What movie did you watch?" It was great and super exciting. I couldn't get into it. It was a grind.
I love the spread of people's reactions to it, because the people who are pretty much absolutely feral about this movie are mainly Aaron Taylor Johnson stans.
Well, that's the
It's
thing.
the best part of the movie.
He's not the best part. He's the only good part.
I disagree.
He's the only good part.
I love the twins in general.
Well, Lemon and Tangerine were good. In fact, I will say the scene where something happens to Lemon and then Tangerine is confronting the prince.
Yeah.
And she has the sticker of Diesel on her back.
Oh,
and
it's
he
one of the
puts
best moments.
It's the only good scene of the movie. It's the only good scene. It was the first time during the whole movie that I actually felt anything.
Okay, what were you going to say, Zack?
I was just going to read the synopsis real quick.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so Bullet Train, directed by David Leitch. Ladybug is an unlucky assassin who's determined to do his job peacefully after one too many gigs have gone off the rails. Fate, however, may have other plans, as his latest mission puts him on a collision course with lethal adversaries from around the globe, all with connected yet conflicting objectives on the world's fastest train.
Yeah. Most grinding, convoluted train in Japan.
It's fun. I feel like this is a fun one to record, because I think that there have been times where Mick and Alexis have famously been on the same page about a movie.
Yeah.
What's
that
going
I
on,
did
man?
not like. Oh, look on, man. And I feel like there have been a few times where Alexis and I have been on board.
I've been
about
waiting
something.
for this moment where
musicals.
you guys are absolutely against me. I've been waiting for it.
Alexis-
I'm not saying that Bullet Train was like my favorite movie or anything.
No,
it
yeah,
really
for sure.
isn't.
We know you don't love it.
Yeah.
I felt like Lupita Nyong'o in Us just going, and then
Yeah.
the girl realized that she was being tested by God. I was
Are we-
suffering.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
This film felt like a challenge.
Okay,
Yeah, it was.
so I saw this movie when it came out in theaters because, Aaron Taylor Johnson, but also Bad Bunny.
Who-
So like this
yeah.
movie was really like they marketed it for the girls for sure. I mean. They're all hot.
But
I mean, Hiroyuki is also, he's the hottest daddy I've ever seen.
Hiroyuki Sanada was, I wish he had more to do.
Yeah, and
no,
all
he's-
these people should have
yeah.
had more to do.
This-
all of them.
So there's a segment in an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they're playing this game that they've invented, and one of the challenges is to eat a cake.
Right.
And it's like, oh, well, that doesn't seem so bad. No. You have to eat the ingredients of a cake. So
Right.
you have
Not
to
a
like
cake.
eat like raw eggs
Flour,
and flour and sugar.
Baking soda.
What?
Yeah. So this is my metaphor for Bullet Train.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
that was mine too.
Bullet Train
What, the ingredients of cake?
No, it's similar though.
Bullet Train to me feels like eating the individual components. All the components are there.
Yeah.
But they are not cooked.
See, this is what I said. It's like if you took John Woo, Robert Rodriguez, and Guy Ritchie and a shit ton of Fiji branded water bottles, put into a
I
blender.
know, I was like very much sponsored by Fiji.
You would get a watered down, convoluted mess of all of those different aesthetics. Everything is here. All of the elements are here. It's a slog. And again, you get all these really cool characters. Bad Bunny, you get, what was her name? The actress who played the mascot. I love her so much.
Oh,
Zazie Beetz.
Zazie Beetz.
Bates, I
She's
think.
so
Yeah.
good. She's so good. And every time this movie gives you a character that's really interesting and dynamic, as I said, Bullet Train giveth and Bullet Train taketh away. Because it gives you
Actually-
something and then immediately takes it back, and then you're with boring Ladybug. Ladybug sucks in this film. Brad
I
Pitt's
don't
bad.
agree.
Brad Pitt is miscast.
Alexis-
I
Hands
really
down.
don't agree. I actually,
We've ragged on this for a while, so
me
please.
and Sochi were like FaceTiming last night so I watched Do Revenge first, and then I started FaceTiming Sochi, and then while I was finishing Do Revenge, I started watching Bullet Train with Sochi over FaceTime. And let me tell you, Bullet Train is kind of like Sochi's Elvis. Because
Really?
she's seen it like 4 times.
Wow.
Because she is down bad for Bad Bunny, and she is down bad for Aaron Taylor Johnson.
And
like,
I'm with her.
Oh yeah,
I'm totally with her on
There's
that.
this
2 for 2.
one shot where he's coming out of the train, and it kind of like flips up to him like walking out, and
Aaron
I
Taylor
literally
Johnson or Bad Bunny?
Aaron Taylor Johnson, and I rewound that like 3 times while we were on FaceTime, and I was like, holy shit, this man is so fine, and for what? Like literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also agree that it's like somebody took all of their leftovers and they threw it into next morning's breakfast pan.
Yeah.
But I will still munch and crunch on that shit. Like, I don't give a fuck because these men are so fucking fine.
Well, it's a compelling argument for the film.
I wish I had a retort for that, but I don't. Damn you, Alexis. Damn you and your munch and crunch.
It's actually so funny that you're bringing up how this film is for the girls, because
Yeah.
I literally had this conversation with Sloan this morning,
Yeah.
where she was like, "You don't like movies for the girls," and I was like, I liked Do Revenge more than I liked Bullet Train."
I know.
Yeah,
And
but
I feel
it's
like-
different for the
I feel
girls.
like what I said was, I feel like the target demographic for Bullet Train is like boys aged 15 to 19, but I'm learning that I'm mistaken.
No,
you're
right.
wrong. You're
And
absolutely
movies that are for
wrong.
boys from 15 to 18 or whatever are actually for the girls. That's what I'm learning.
I've been enlightened today.
Yeah, no. If you put Aaron Taylor Johnson in a fucking movie,
Or Adam
you-
Driver.
Hardly know
yes. Okay, you literally, that is for the girls.
It's
automatically for the girls.
Automatically, you the girls, this is for you.
Yes.
All right. Well,
You know what? Sloan, if you're listening, I'm there with you.
man. So let's see. What are some notes that I've taken? Oh, sorry. Actually, please defend.
I'm not necessarily like defending. I'm gonna explain like what my first reaction was, and then what my reaction was the second time that I watched it. Yeah. So I saw this originally in theaters. When I went to see it by myself in theaters, I remember like sitting through the first 20 minutes, just going like, this feels like it's supposed to be kind of like Guy Ritchie, but it's really not doing it well. I think that's what it was. I was like, there's all this fucking setup, all this fucking exposition. When the fuck are they gonna get to something? And then by the time they got to something, I was like, actually, you know what? That was kind of fun.
But then question: when did they get to something?
Like 25 minutes in.
Disagree.
Yeah.
Maybe almost 30. I don't know. I mean, I think I just disagree on what action means to me.
Okay.
I think we have a disagreement on what action means, because like when I literally read your guys' reviews to Sochi last night and we roasted each of you individually.
I didn't publish. I haven't published my review for Bullet Train yet.
It was for Do Revenge.
Wait, so did you read my Bullet Train? Did you roast me in my Bullet Train?
We roasted you twice.
Yay.
We roasted you once.
Okay, well, you'll be ready to roast me again, because I have my Bullet Train review written. I just didn't want to put it out until we recorded this episode.
Yeah, it was a very like anti-men kind of roast.
Yeah. All right.
Well, you know what? Yeah, that's appropriate.
Yeah, and then like I remember when I was in the theaters, we got to the end and I was like, well, that was a really kind of disappointing reveal. That's okay, well,
right?
Whatever, that's fine. But when I rewatched it over FaceTime with Sochi, honestly, I was just kind of like, I was just waiting for like, interesting quote unquote things to happen. But I was having fun because I was just like, damn, Aaron Taylor Johnson, why is this man so fucking fun? Like,
but wait, I have a question. How do you feel about when his character dies?
Oh my god, it's so fucking tragic.
And it's tragic because the only good character of the movie is dead.
Gone.
Why the fuck is that man so good looking with the Cockney accent too?
Here's the thing.
Understand.
I know. When I was watching it, I was like,
damn.
"Oh my god, Guy Ritchie, please put Aaron Taylor Johnson in one of your
Yes.
movies."
Oh my
I mean,
God.
with his mustache, his slicked back hair, he looks like a fucking sleazy bastard, and I love it.
Oh my
and
God.
you made a good point of like, this makes when they announced that he's the front runner to play Bond.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, okay, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. After seeing him go, full on Cockney, if they have him be a Brummy Bond, I would love that. Brummy's like a Birmingham Peaky Blinders type
My name is
dialect.
Peaky Blinders.
That would be so great,
So hot.
right?
I'm so with you.
Because think about it. If they made Aaron Taylor Johnson 007, then 007 would be for the girlies.
Okay, all right, okay. So, I would like to steer us away just for a moment.
Please
Is it hot in here?
It's really hot.
It's getting toasty, and I'm wearing shorts, and it's January. So I would like to just bring up some specific complaints I have about Bullet Train.
My tea
One
is cold, but I'm fuming.
is that Brad Pitt talks like he's fucking Deadpool,
Yeah.
and I hate it. It
Yeah.
is not dignified behavior from one of the last
Yeah.
true movie stars.
Yeah, I would.
Say what you will about him as a guy, and I will.
Can I piggyback on
Piece
that?
of shit.
Can I piggyback really
yeah.
quick? So my issue with Brad Pitt, aka Ladybug, is not only is the character wrong, but I think Brad Pitt's wrong. He approaches this, first of all, his outfit. He's wearing a trench coat and a boat hat and glasses. Why the fuck is this guy the lead of our action film? And he's approaching this like, yeah, he's on a job, but he's kind of reluctant because he's always saying things like, oh, butthole, or
Oh, yeah, no, okay, I wrote down a series of
that-
things.
sour
isn't that,
nuts.
Isn't that kind of the point of his character, though?
And it is the
Because
point, and it's a
because
mistake.
he literally
It's a mistake.
Because he took the job, but it's not actually his job.
Yeah, but that's the problem. It
He
means the issue's inherently baked into the film.
Yeah, our protagonist has the least reason for being in the film than anybody else.
As I told Zack, he reminds me of almost like the Big Lebowski. Because towards the end, he's always saying things like, "Oh man, there's some that's a bunch of negativity right there," or "You have to do this and you have to do that." I'm like, why is this our lead?
He's not laid back enough to be charming.
Yeah.
And he's not like smug and clever enough to be charming.
And here's how I would have fixed it. Look, if you want this character to be the lead of the film and you want Brad Pitt to play it, fine. But don't have him be on a job. Have him be just someone who's stuck on this train who accidentally, through maybe his stupidity, sets off this chain of events that ends up being what is Bullet Train.
Yeah,
I think that would have been better.
Have him be sort of a Harry type character in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I didn't enjoy hearing Brad Pitt say, "Eat a bag of dicks, fuck nuts, shit balls, holy shit box."
Again, humor was attempted.
Yeah. So that was one of my problems.
Michael Shannon,
wasted, terrible accent.
He couldn't even elevate the material.
I agree. I'm like, oh, Michael. Like, I love Michael Shannon. I love Michael Shannon as a villain.
Yeah.
A 6'6" Russian man? Question mark?
Yeah, with Japanese...
Big question mark?
With Japanese tattoos, too. Again, the Orientalism of this film, too, was an issue for me.
Yeah, just using... Yeah, it's kind of similar to,
the I know this was made by
Limited.
White people. Yeah.
Where, Japan is just sort of window
dressing. It's window dressing. That's all it is.
Mostly white people. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't care for it.
Yeah. But, Alexis, I'm 100% with you. Lemon and Tangerine should have been the leads.
I would watch a movie about Lemon and Tangerine.
Absolutely.
I want a spin-off for Lemon and Tangerine.
Absolutely. They deserve it. Because,
if someone else wrote and directed it, hell yeah.
Their dynamic, their relationship, and their storyline was, I think, the only thing that worked in the movie for me. I felt genuine emotion for their relationship, how they were brothers, that whole thing. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I think the least compelling storylines for me were the prince and her father.
Oh, right. See, I already forgot about that.
I did actually, reading reviews of it later on, I saw this joke that I missed that I thought might have been actually the funniest joke. So at the beginning, Lemon puts the Percy fucking little sticker from Thomas the Tank Engine.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, and I think you are a Percy. Right? And he puts it on Logan Lerman. And you guys probably don't know, but Logan Lerman actually played Percy Jackson in that.
Oh, yeah.
And so then it's like, oh, you're Percy. And I thought that was actually kind of funny. But not until after I watched the movie. Because I didn't realize that until I read it.
Oh,
and then when I read it, I was like, oh, that's fucking hilarious.
It got a retroactive
chuckle out of me for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Logan Lerman, man. They did him dirty in this movie.
Yeah, I remember when I watched the movie the first time, I was like, I don't love the flashbacks for the wolf because I felt like it took us out of whatever was fucking going on.
I think
in the
all
train.
the flashbacks took it out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that, this was why I kept trying to fucking tell you guys about Bullet Train and The Gentleman, because I was
right.
It's like they're doing all of these things, but they're not doing it correctly because instead of using the narration to, pull the storyline and actually seeing the stories, as they come, you're being pulled out of it by the flashbacks. That's not to say that I don't fucking I would rewatch this movie, actually.
She will. We can see it in her eyes.
Yeah.
She wants more Percy action.
When this movie fucking dropped, people were absolutely feral on TikTok for fucking Aaron Taylor Johnson, and they were
Alexis, we get it.
There were so many edits just of this man walking around.
Are you his manager? Are you his
You're really
agent?
plugging him.
It all comes back to 18.
Although I would like to plug him as well.
Can I have a side note? He's married to this woman who's I think she's 30 years older than him, 20 years older than him, and they met when he was 18.
I thought they're not together anymore.
They're still together.
Are they?
I don't know.
Zach, I'm looking at you, buddy. I need answers.
Great. Yeah, I'm gonna not give you those.
But yeah, no, I 100% see what you meant from our episode 1, by the way.
Yeah,
that's our first OG episode. But as we were watching Bullet Train, I looked at Zack and I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about what Alexis said, and she's right. This just makes me want to watch The Gentleman.
Yeah.
I want to turn this off and put on The Gentleman.
Yeah, but the thing is that sometimes I think it's so I was having this conversation with Sochi where it's sometimes I think the reason why we disagree on things is that I enjoy movies that I just shut off my brain and I'm just like not really caring that it's a good movie or not.
Sorry. Okay, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I thought about this too, because I knew it was going to be brought up. I have movies that you just shut your brain off to that I enjoy.
How often do you watch them?
Not that often. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's just, but there are movies that I can recognize as being, this is not a really good movie, but it's fun. I have a good time.
Yeah, but like you guys go out of your way to like watch good movies as often as possible. I do not, actually.
I go out of my way to watch movies.
Yeah.
I watched The Blob.
That's a damn good movie.
Yeah.
But I take your point. That's why here, I'm ragging on the film. I didn't enjoy it, but I will admit I can see why people like it. I can see why it resonates with people. I can see why people like Do Revenge more, frankly. But yeah, Bullet Train, I think if you just turn your head, I also think this is a movie that you probably should have seen in the theater.
I'd like to do one better.
I definitely think it was more exciting in the theater, when I watched it.
Feels like a movie that if I were currently drinking, I would have enjoyed more.
Right, yeah.
But, in fact, both of these films, I had the thought. I was like, if I was a little buzzed right now, this would maybe be cooking a little more.
Yeah.
Zach and I were both doing Dry January, and so Bullet Train and Do
the
Revenge
first real
was...
test.
Nice.
It was a test, and...
We passed.
They failed.
God. Do we have anything else to say about Bullet Train, or do we want to move on to Do Revenge? Alexis, this is your pick, so I don't want to...
No. Yeah, Hiroyuki should have had more to do. He's so daddy. Aaron Taylor Johnson, we'll just bring him back to that. That man is so fine, and for what? That's it. That's all I want to say.
Thank you.
I will finish this by saying that there are people that listen to our show that I know for a fact worked on Bullet Train.
Oh, that's what I wanted to...
And I just want to say, for those of you listening... Yeah.
You're repugnant human beings, and I will fight you.
Okay.
I will fight you.
All joking aside, for those of you who are listening to this that worked on the movie, how dare you? And it's your fault.
No, I'm kidding.
I
actually have another side note really quick. I worked at the construction warehouse for Nope. So I worked with like all the construction guys, and they had literally just come off of doing Bullet Train.
Okay.
So I got to talk to them just kind of about like what it was like, kind of like making all the set pieces and stuff. So I actually have a lot of respect for them. I personally thought the movie was okay. I liked it. I'll rewatch it, because Aaron Taylor Johnson is hot as shit. So.
Oh my God.
Okay, so Do Revenge. Let's get into that.
Do Revenge.
So, Do Revenge is directed by Jennifer Kaytin Robinson, and the synopsis is: popular Drea wants revenge on her boyfriend for publishing her sex tape, and exchange student Eleanor is haunted by a rumor. The two teenagers team up to take action against their tormentors. I like this one more.
I did too.
I didn't love it.
I didn't know that until after I watched Bullet Train, but I did enjoy this more.
I saw Do Revenge twice because Mick watched it the day after I watched it. Uh-huh. It didn't hold up for me as well on a second watch, but I think there are more elements of this movie that work for me. Yeah. I think Maya Hawke is very good. Yeah. There's a solid 20 to 30 minutes in the middle of the movie where I was like, holy shit, this is cooking. Yeah. I did not expect this. Yeah. But yeah, overall, it was kind of mid for me. Yeah. It's on Netflix.
I rewatched this yesterday, and I remember when I first saw it, I was like, oh, you know what? I give it like a 3.5. But then when I rewatched it, I bumped it up to a 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm gonna rewatch it. So for me, it's not. So I actually talked to my friend Allison about this because I asked her like, how does she rate movies, and she gives it a 4.5. But that's because she rates things on whether or not they're rewatchable for her. And
that's a good criteria.
Yeah. And I will agree with her that this is for me personally, a very fun movie. But I also really grew up like loving 1990s like high school movies, which I will absolutely say that, like, Clueless and those are like to me like masterpieces.
Fair enough.
So like this is kind of the first movie of like the last decade that I feel like kind of even comes close to reaching kind of what the 1990s were for me as a girl for high school movies.
Fair enough.
Nice.
I would say that of movies in the past 10 years that are set in high school, I would take Lady Bird well above this film. And
Yeah, but Lady Bird's actually like that's not the type of high school movie.
No,
that I'm talking
I get
about.
what you mean. I get what you mean.
know?
But I do want to bring it up because one thing that I immediately thought when I watched this the first time was watching, I think his name's Austin Adams or
Austin Abrams.
Austin Abrams.
Yeah.
As Max, I was like, this is a role in dire need of a Timothy Chalamet.
I don't agree.
He would knock that smarmy prick part out of the fucking park.
I really like Austin Abrams. Actually, Allison met him. He came,
wow.
Yeah, he came through Humboldt. He stopped at the restaurant that Allison works at.
That's so cool.
She said that he's really fucking sweet, and he was really surprised that she recognized him. Because he was in Euphoria.
I love that. I
yeah.
love that moment. Because she recognized him from Do Revenge, right?
No,
Euphoria. Euphoria.
Oh, okay. That would have been hilarious if it was Do Revenge. They got him recognition.
No, I think it was Euphoria, but she did watch she probably had seen Do Revenge already, actually. But yeah, he was really surprised that like she knew who he was. But I think he's really sweet, probably. So.
I liked him as the bad guy.
Yeah.
I think he did a really good job. Again, he reminded me of Timothy Chalamet mixed with Alan Cummings.
Alan Cumming.
I don't see that. I've read both of your guys' reviews.
He reminded me as I wrote an adolescent.
Timothy.
Max reminded me of an adolescent boy villain from Spy Kids. That was kind of the vibe that he brought to the film.
Actually, so funny is that my friend Sochi, she also has met Timothy Chalamet.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. So like
You buried the lead, Alexis.
okay, but like when he was like 19, because like when Sochi was going to school on the East Coast, she went to this party and a bunch of like NYU kids were there.
What happened?
Nothing. They were just
damn it.
they were just fucking
Jesus.
there.
I thought we were gonna get a hookup
She's
story.
never really liked him since then, I guess.
Yeah.
But she's also never really watched most of his movies.
Sochi, if you're
you
listening,
know?
Queen, fuck, you gotta tell me
She
this
doesn't
story.
listen, but
What?
no, her and Maddie specifically don't listen because they said that
The boys are annoying.
Is it us? It's us. Is it us?
they
Of course
said that
it's
they
us.
just want to listen to me.
You know what? I'm kind of with them, actually. Sometimes I listen to myself and I'm like, ugh.
I was thinking of doing.
Never happened to me.
I was
I'm always
thinking
like,
of
what a
doing
cool
my
guy.
own like little mini episodes on YouTube just for Sochi and Maddie,
Just for the girlies.
just for the girlies.
Today's topic, Aaron Taylor Johnson,
It should,
part 18.
your episodes should just be your audio cut out of, just like all of our audio cut out of an episode.
Yeah.
And you're just condensed to the things that you're
I
saying.
should just like run like a best selects of my audio from each episode and then just send it to the
The
girls.
Alexis greatest hits,
Yeah,
the B-side.
the B-side.
I love that.
So,
Anyways, Do Revenge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do Revenge.
I think an issue that I had, and I don't necessarily know how you remedy it, I found the ending to be kind of a cop-out.
Absolutely.
It ended in the place that you predict it's going to end from the beginning,
Yeah.
when it's like, oh, her boyfriend's a fucking scumbag. He leaked the sex tape.
Yeah.
And about halfway through the movie, you get this really interesting reveal.
Yeah.
Where you discover that Maya Hawke's character has actually transferred to this school on purpose to destroy Drea.
Yeah.
Because she made up this horrible rumor
Which is
about her
great.
in middle
Yeah.
school.
That's a great plot point.
Outing her as queer and claiming that she like tried to
Making
hold
her out to be a predator.
Yeah, tried to hold her down and kiss her. And we get Maya Hawke being kind of like this master manipulator,
Maniacal.
Yeah.
like broken
Puppet
by this
master.
horrible thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit.
Right?
Is this actually like a conflict
Yeah.
between Maya Hawke and Camila Mendez? Because
Yeah.
that's not at all what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And then by the end, when you get back to, oh no, this is actually
Yeah.
about Max being a piece of shit, I'm like, I understand why you're doing this, but I feel like now that you've done this reveal, it's kind of disappointing that you've come back
Right.
to this conventional place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that reveal with Maya Hawke is more stimulating and intriguing, I think, than how it ends. Because the ending seems forced and not earned to me.
Yeah, I kind of felt similarly.
For me, this movie really lost a lot of traction, like right exactly at the midpoint. I remember I got to the midpoint and I was like, damn, like where's it supposed to go from here? Like all of that was like really exciting. And then like, I think for me, I don't love Drea's character. I really
Same.
dislike her.
Same.
And so like I could do with like less of her, but also like I could do with more gay shit, which is always my side note in a movie.
There could be more gay
There
shit.
could be more gay shit. Especially from Maya Hawke. I don't know.
I know she's playing a lesbian again,
She's
and it's
so
fantastic.
good at it. She's so
She
good
looks
at it.
great.
I don't understand.
I don't understand.
I have kind of a weird note.
Okay.
Why is Max Jewish?
Yeah.
Why is Max
also-
like noticeably Jewish?
Yeah, why did they make him
wearing,
Jew?
He's wearing a Star of David chain,
Yeah.
and then when he comes out for his big villain reveal speech at the end, where he's like, "Oh
Yeah.
no, I actually have been trying to destroy you this whole time, Drea."
What does he say? He says
that this display of female friendship, it warms my heart. I'm kvelling. That's a Yiddish word.
Yeah.
Like, why are we highlighting his Jewishness?
I wrote that
his
in my
big
review.
villain moment?
I was like, it's a strange choice to make him.
It feels like the writer or the casting,
Yeah.
I don't know, someone was like, okay, so we've got a Latina character as one of our leads. Great. We've got an Asian girl. We've got a black sidekick. Gotta have a black sidekick.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing this movie has going for it. At least he has a black sidekick.
But then
So woke.
who should our villain be? A Jew. It felt strange. I don't think it's like,
I
don't
don't
think
think she
there's-
chose him to be a Jew because
it's in
he's
the
the villain.
script.
So then why?
It's no, like
I mean, I know you don't know,
I
but-
don't think that there's like malintent behind it. I just think that it plays super weird that like
Once
in
he-
the
I
scene.
feel like it gives him like that white guy flavor of like I also have a struggle because I also have something, you know? I don't know. I didn't really think about it. I honestly didn't even realize he was Jewish until I read your guys' review, and then I was like, oh, he's Jewish.
It was like one of the first things I noticed, and it plays really weird.
Yeah.
Because like if
yeah.
that's the thing, it's like, oh, are we saying that Jews don't have like an actual struggle? Because I don't like that. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what the point of it is.
It's a weird exercise of tokenism. Again, giving the bad guy a black sidekick was a weird choice. In giving him and making him Jewish, a weird choice. I don't know.
I don't know.
It was-
just
it wasn't-
I mean,
strangely.
I think it's like I think it's kind of making fun of the fucking culture of woke tokenism.
Yeah,
Maybe.
So on that note, I will say that the point where Max reveals that he started the cis hetero men highlighting female identifying students club, that hit. That was very
Yeah,
funny.
So
my
fucking funny.
jaw dropped when that
Yeah.
scene cut
And
to it.
so I remember I wrote down that like LMAO, that whole phrase. I wrote it down and I said
Yeah.
LMAO. And then the second time I watched it, I was like, specifically cis.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I want to include everyone, but I am actually excluding some people.
Yeah.
you
No,
know?
for sure.
I like that because I've had several different trans people in my life complain about the term female identifying because that's
Yeah.
like referring to sex as opposed to gender.
Yeah.
I believe so. It's like it's one of those things that like sounds very like
I'm so woke.
yeah, but it's
I'm
like
hip to the times.
terminology is kind of off.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That really hit me, and the other thing that really hit me is when they leak all the fact that Max has been cheating on his girlfriend with a girl in every single
Yeah.
click, and the defense is that they're ethically non-monogamous. I was like, Jesus Christ.
I really thought that was just like kind of showing how like society, like how people use I wrote it down or something. Oh, beep beep boop. Beep beep boop boop.
Zoobidoo-bop-bop-ba-doo-bop-bop. Scooby-doo-boo-bop-ba-doo-bop-bop.
Oh yeah, socialization is in a sense a kind of marketing and manipulation of the persona. You yourself are a brand, and that's just kind of what I thought of, like them doing that. I was like, oh, they're just rebranding it.
Yes. No,
So fun.
That hit really hard for me.
Yeah.
I thought that, again, this is probably around a 2.5 out of 5 for me.
Yeah.
Probably a 2.5. Because it didn't all work for me, but I feel like there are stretches and components of this movie that I enjoyed quite a bit.
Yeah. I think for me it would have been better if so when the big reveal with Eleanor happens about what her big whole plan was, they keep talking about Glenergy. Glenn Close, fatal attraction energy,
yeah.
and then you have her basically talking about her big diabolical plan. It then cuts to her in a bathtub with a glass of wine and her leg draped over the side, and it basically and she's like, teenagers were psychopaths, and I was like, oh my god, are we gonna get real Glenergy vibes? Is she gonna kill Drea? I think the movie would have been better if she had murdered Drea.
No, but then
Jesus
it wouldn't have been like a girls supporting girls thing.
I know, but I would have found it more interesting.
I'm not into it. I guess that it would have been more quote unquote interesting, but it wouldn't have, I guess, I don't know. It wouldn't have.
It's not as heartwarming, that's for sure. It doesn't leave you all warm and fuzzy at the end.
I guess my thing is, if you're going to have Max be the central conflict at the end, don't introduce the twist with Eleanor in the middle.
Yeah, because it's way more interesting.
But it also, I feel like it shifts the audience's focus to this conflict that, I do think is less conventional and more interesting.
The setup was pretty convoluted, but I think that maybe what it was kind of trying to do was kind of showcase how complex girls kind of relationships are with each other at that age, because obviously they're, here's the thing. How many times has somebody started a rumor about you guys that has actually made you guys lose your entire friend group?
Oh, never. I don't think anybody cared that much about me.
Yeah, 0.
Okay, yeah. I was talking to Sochi about this while I was roasting you guys last night, and I was like, I feel like they just don't understand how fucking how brutal it is out there between female relationships sometimes, because it's not only are you in some ways feeling like you're in competition with each other, but you're tearing each other down, and then you're forgiving each other because you realize actually our relationship with each other was never even the problem. It was all these fucking guys and shit, I know that I feel like to you guys the whole Austin thing feels like a detraction, but I like that it comes back to it, because I'm like, well, of course I don't want them to feud. I feel like they had really good gay energy throughout half of the movie, and when the movie ended and they didn't kiss, I was like, that's fucked up.
Also would have been more interesting.
Yeah, that's also an acceptable ending, which it didn't do. But I will say there are some fantastic lines in the film, which I wrote down a few of my favorites. Bitchosaurus Rex, that's right out of the gate. That's a good term. Your new vibe is high status cunt.
Yeah.
That's a great one. And I love it when we meet the bearded dragon and Eleanor says, my Academy Award winning bearded dragon, Olivia Colman.
Yeah, I like to keep Olivia Colman.
Oscar winner Olivia Colman.
I like to keep my companions thick-skinned and cold-blooded.
Yes.
I was like, ooh, that's a sexy line.
I just love the name of her iguana.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I also enjoyed the term shoe-faced veggie fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to trim my bonsai when I'm feeling vexed. It's one of my favorites. And then it'll be like our own little friendship tattoos. Except, with trauma.
That didn't hit as much for me.
I like that. I was like, that's good.
I feel there's, I don't know. For every good line, there was something where I was just like, oof,
there are some stinkers.
This is similarly to Bodies, 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 but a little worse for me. Feels like a middle-aged person who went on Twitter to try to learn how young people talk.
Right. Also, our blue-headed boy...
Russ or something.
Yeah, Russ wasn't doing it.
It wasn't very interesting. But I disagreed with Mick about the whole them not having any chemistry. Did you also agree with him?
I agree with Mick. No chemistry there.
I
That
don't
dude's
think
like a
they-
fucking.
And that's not
wooden
even
plank.
Camille Mendez's fault. I just think he's a bad actor. I think the guy who plays Russell was a bad actor.
Sorry, pal.
Yeah, sorry, but take a master class. They're cheap. You can probably afford it. You're probably a trust fund baby.
Oh my god.
Or maybe the part just wasn't written that well.
Maybe that.
As somebody that actually wants to pursue acting, I actually think that I can't even tell people that I do this podcast because of how much you guys rag on other actors.
Oh.
Listen, he wasn't good in the movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
but
ha-
I will say his outfit, he stuck out. He really did. His leather jacket and red hair, because everyone else is dressed
What
like a
red hair?
or excuse me, blue hair. Everyone else is dressed like a pastel Easter egg at this school with a plaid skirt or plaid tie. I enjoyed the costuming of this, but I
it's
found
so
it
good.
interesting
So
that
fun.
he's a surfer boy and he rides a motorcycle and he's a farmer and he's an artist. Like, man, this guy's got it all.
He's different, guys. He's so different. And he's so lucky that his dad gave him a warehouse so that he can expose his trauma.
Oh boy,
You
God,
know?
yeah.
Here's
Gave him a
here's
warehouse
another thing.
to do the paintball fight scene from 10 Things
Oh,
I Hate About You.
My biggest issue with this movie in the believability is that girl would let somebody get paint on her school uniform
Oh, yeah.
if she is lower income.
Yeah, hell no.
Because that shit is fucking expensive. I went to a private school for like Catholic school.
Yeah.
You don't fuck with those uniforms because they're fucking expensive. I know for a fact that girl would never have allowed somebody to fucking just toss paint like, oh my god, I'm so in love, and oh my god,
that scene
let's
is so
totally have it.
forced.
But it's a throwback to 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like there's so many things in this movie that I'm like, oh, this movie, you
Yeah.
know, like they're all clear, like kind of homages
Yeah,
to like older movies from the 90s.
Yeah, Do Revenge and Bullet Train both pay homage to much better films than they are.
I tend to agree.
Yeah. And what was I going to... Something else I was going to mention. Oh, something else I mentioned to Zack was that the filmmakers of this film, to me, seemed like the type of people that the film is depicting themselves. Like, it didn't seem like... It seemed like the critique it was having of trust fund babies, that whole type of people, was very soft-handed. It didn't seem like it was really a scathing critique. It seemed more like it is depicting a world that the people who made this film actually come from themselves. And I myself, I just struggle with that class of people in general. So I think that was part of why I kind of had trouble connecting to the story itself and what this film was trying to do and trying to say. But, you know, like I said, there are lines in it that are really fun. And, of course, the tan Studebaker Gran Turismo was beautiful. And then that gorgeous black Mercedes with a red interior.
Oh yeah, the cars were actually really nice.
The cars were fantastic.
You know, from my first viewing of this, my note at the end was, not certain I love the ending, feels a little cookie cutter, dialogue suffers a bit, that fucking car though. And then I said, it's too gay at the end, you can't do that to me, and in quotations, thank God there's a towel under me.
Oh yeah, that line made me laugh too.
That was so good. Oh my god. I actually used that line here talking to you guys after I saw this movie, and you guys didn't know it was from the movie yet.
Oh, wow.
That was last year after I'd seen the movie. I started saying something about like somebody on the TV, and I was like, thank God
That's so
there's
sneaky.
a couch under me.
She's been referencing this film for years.
My God.
I think we might be fucked up soulmates was one of my favorite lines, for sure. I mean, and Sophie Turner, I just fucking love that woman. I don't do cocaine. I don't even know what it looks like.
She doesn't even know what it looks like.
Yeah, literally so fucking good.
You know,
and then
kicked me out. She's like, and then I developed a cocaine problem.
Yeah, and at the very end, she's like, and I just wanted to tell you that
That was
I
great.
hope the very worst happens to you.
I
so good.
and that's a thing.
Your earballs.
Talk about performances. I believed her. I believed every word that Sophia Turner was saying.
Yeah.
That was great.
One of my favorite things was like when Drea's like, I don't know, just like go down on me, and then he's like going down on her, and she's like, oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Oh.
I came. Let's go to a party.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
she taps his head and she says, I came, let's go.
Yep.
That shit was mad funny to me. One of my favorite things also is that like they tell you what's going to happen in the whole movie just by the books that the characters are reading.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like the second time that we see Eleanor, so we see her in the car at first, and then the second time we see her is when she's like introducing us to kind of like Drea or whatever, right? And she's reading a book, and the book she's reading is Strangers on a Train, which is is it Alfred?
Yeah, it's a
Hitchcock?
Hitchcock movie.
Yeah, have you guys seen it?
No.
Okay, so it's literally the whole story is just they're strangers on a train. They essentially decide to commit each other's murders so that they can get away with it. She's reading Strangers on a Train, and so once you've rewatched it, you're just like, oh, they're telling you already that something's up because it seems like it's Drea's idea to do each other's revenge, but actually it's obviously Maya who's setting it up.
Right.
And so when you see her reading Strangers on a Train, that is actually your first clue that she's the one who's setting up everything.
That's fun. I like that.
And then Gabby, Austin Abrams, Max. Okay, so Max's sister, Gabby, during the first like kind of, what would you call that, assembly, she's reading Dangerous Liaisons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is literally just a movie about a court of people and two people kind of like at the top fucking with everybody else's lives.
Nice.
Yeah, so
That's fun.
Yeah, there's some fun kind of like Easter eggs, I guess, in there. I also enjoyed the fact that Sarah Michelle Gellar is in this movie because she was like one of the queens from like the 90s. So
Yeah,
it's kind of fun
I could
to
have
get
used
her
more
in.
of her.
Yeah, isn't Cruel Intentions, which she's in, an adaptation of Dangerous Liaisons?
Actually, it probably is.
I think it is, because that was
Yeah.
a thing in the 90s where you would adapt a classic work of literature but put it in a
that's what I'm saying,
contemporary high
because
school.
Do Revenge is literally Strangers on a Train.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And Clueless, which is one of this director's like favorite movies, is Emma by Jane Austen. You know, so, and 10 Things That I Hate About You is The Taming of the Shrew by fucking Shakespeare.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I kind of thought it was like a fun little homage. It's definitely the most fun kind of high school movie that I've seen in years. And I just love Maya Hawke so much. I'm really excited for her to do something else, I think.
Yeah.
With her acting. I think it's kind of actually unfair to kind of pick at maybe Camilla's acting because I feel like her character just kind of is what she is.
It's a less interesting role.
That's the thing. I think she played it well.
Yeah.
I think she played it well. It's just the character
and also
frustrating.
the only other thing that she's really known for doing is Riverdale, which really doesn't give you much to work with.
No.
And like I try to keep in mind that despite Maya kind of being newer to the acting game, she is a Nepo baby.
Yeah.
So she has grown up with two very, very good actors as parents and has probably been able to get, you know, lessons from them, lessons from other people. And, you know, so, you know, I think I would like to see Camilla in some other things that are more interesting, and I would like to see Maya Hawke do something other than Maya Hawke.
Yeah,
I'd like to
give
see
her better
not
material.
play a high schooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Maya Hawke's career.
Actually,
she's really
she's
good.
in this movie, I think it's Mainstream, which isn't a great movie. I haven't seen it, but I really want to watch it because I think she doesn't play a high schooler, so it came out in 2020 with Andrew Garfield. I've heard it's like not a great movie, but I really want to watch it because Maya Hawke's in it.
And Andrew Garfield, you love him.
And I do love that man. God damn it.
Well, I'm getting work calls, so maybe we should wrap this up.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Alexis, do you have anything else that you want to cover?
No, I just, I'll defend this movie probably to the ends of the earth because I really love a high school movie. But I also agree that it's not like the best necessarily, but I think it's fun.
And, you know, I know I went down the rabbit hole of ragging on these films, but I will say, yes?
Oh, in your review, you talked about how you don't like the whole, like, what was it?
Oh yeah, I fundamentally struggle with teenage films because
Yeah.
they put teenage problems on a pedestal, and I think being an adult is far harder.
Yeah, me and Sochi roasted you like so hard for that.
I stand by what I said. Though.
I don't agree. I actually find being an adult so much easier than being a teenager.
It's less emotionally volatile, but I feel like the problems I'm dealing with are more intense.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't agree, actually.
I mean, I don't know, just taxes and having a job and life stuff and car trouble and house trouble and you know what I mean? It's like medical bills, just like adult stuff. It's not fun.
What medical bills do you have?
I'm just saying, not just for me.
We're proud to announce on the podcast
I'm just saying,
Mick is dying.
Yeah, I'm starting a GoFundMe.
God, can we start a fake GoFundMe and pretend Mick is
but no,
dying?
that's
fine,
do
right?
that. No, that's not.
I stand by what I said. I think it's harder being an adult. But you know
don't
what?
Agree. I think me and Sochi were
Maybe
roasting
being a
you
teen
because
girl.
that's what we were saying.
Is
Was
a
like,
totally
I think
different lived experience, and that's
really
fine.
is. It's really a different lived experience.
And that makes sense. But what I was going to say was,
yeah.
I had fun ragging on these films, but I understand that it is very, very, very hard to make a good film, and it's very, very. No one goes out to make a bad movie. I see why people liked it, and I have nothing against any of the people that were involved, except for the crew members of Bullet Train. If you're listening,
You're bad people, and we don't like you.
We don't like you. Just kidding, we love you. But yeah, no.
I don't know
they
you,
weren't,
so I can't even say that.
They weren't. These films are not for me, but I checked them out, and you know what? I was exposed to new stuff, and that's never a bad thing.
Both these films are on Netflix if you want to see it.
That's right.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that I don't agree with Mick and Zack, and that I actually don't think that these are bad movies.
And with that, I would like to reiterate that I do think they're bad movies, and I don't agree with Alexis.
But I think that's the fun thing about this podcast, and something that I want to kind of hold to going forward is I always want to have one person on the side of a movie that we're talking about, because I don't want to just be mean and negative.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think that fucking hats off to you for sticking to your
well
guns.
done, Alexis.
Oh yeah,
this was a good episode.
I discussed with Sochi that I find it very hard to have discussions about things that I disagree on because I tend to take a very middle of the road stance on things, and she was literally like, "Oh, that's just being a woman." Because you always just take the middle road on things so that you're not too detract. Like every time I'm like, oh, I kind of liked it. I didn't dislike it. But you guys have your opinions and you're confident in your opinions. But I'm always so movable in my opinions, you know?
Yeah.
Well, stick to your guns.
Yeah.
I think you did a good job sticking to your guns on this. If you like fun high school films, I think that, in my opinion, Do Revenge, not a bad watch.
It's worth checking out. I'll give you that.
Bullet Train drained me, but
I think you could skip Bullet Train, but Do Revenge is worth checking out.
You know what? I think, aren't we going to do some high school movies later this year, hopefully?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so fucking excited.
There's one
Back
I'm
to
very
school,
excited
baby.
for. There's one I'm extremely excited for.
Okay, great.
I'm not going to reveal it, but I'm stoked.
Okay, superb.
There we go.
Well, now that we're at the... are we at the end? I'm sorry, Alexis.
I think we're at the end.
Yeah. Cool.
We're good? Okay.
Yeah, let's keep this train going. So we need to cover I believe it's my pick.
It so is.
Now
it's
for the upcoming week.
The final episode of our 2022 in review.
Yeah. And you know what? I still have been bouncing around about what we're going to review for next week. And because Alexis made the bold move.
Man, I'm getting shafted here.
You are. I'm sorry, Zach, but you are. I'm gonna ride Alexis' coattails to success.
I feel like fucking John Goodman in The Big Lebowski. Does nobody give a shit about the rules?
Well, this is not Nom. This is not Nom.
This is not Nom. There are rules.
There are rules, and I'm breaking them.
He's gonna pick two movies.
I'm breaking them. Yeah, I'm doing a double feature. And that double feature is Ty West's X and Pearl.
Oh.
I would like to cover those two because it's the movie that got the ball rolling for 2022. It brought us all together, kind of. It's a great time. I would like to watch the both of them and review both of them and just talk about why they're really damn good films.
Do you guys own any of them on DVD?
We own both of them.
We own both.
Okay. I might just borrow those then. I don't really want to rent them.
Yeah.
Well, I believe X is on streaming, but Pearl you have to rent.
Yeah, X is on Showtime, and Pearl is...
I know
Yeah, not really on anything.
that I really liked Mia Goth and Pearl, but I kind of am not super excited to rewatch it.
Well, it should be interesting to talk about at least.
Yeah, so...
Because I would like to do a deep dive into... I know we've talked about Pearl. We haven't really done a deep dive yet into X yet.
Yeah.
And I think that would be fun.
Alrighty.
Yeah. So we'll see you next week, y'all.
Yeah, and if you want to find us on social media, we're at FilmMajorsPod on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And if you want to shoot us an email, tell Mick and I that we're fucked up and that these movies are good and you side with Alexis. You can shoot us an email at filmmajorspod@gmail.com and yell at us about the error of our ways. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.